Hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Erry, and welcome to the debut episode of Cheap Therapy. Cheap Therapy is basically a new YouTube series where I will be offering cheap therapy. I'll be a therapist, and you'll be my patient. Tell me what's bothering you, or what you're worried about, or what you just feel like ranting about, and I will give you unprofessional advice. I have no experience with life whatsoever. I have no professional background, but I feel like I can offer you cheap therapy. Basically, this is just going to be an avenue where people can like express themselves, just have someone give a listening ear or like give questions to the audience, which is you watching. You might have the answers, I might not have the answers. Also, in fact, I'm definitely not going to have the proper answers because, like I said, I have no experience in life. I'm a young adult. But I just feel like this is something that needs to be done. I feel like this is something that people would enjoy. So let's see if it's something that people actually enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for clicking this video. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. And for people that wrote it, not a lot of people wrote it, but quite some people did write it, and I'm really, really grateful for that. Thank you so much. And without further ado, let's go into our first cheap therapy session. Hey, that's so exciting to say out loud. Okay, so our first patient says, having thought about not feeling good enough and gatekeeping what you have to offer to the world, like starting what you've always had passion about. Having thought about not feeling good enough and keeping what you have to offer to the world, this person basically feels like they have something to offer to the world and they feel like they're not good enough to take on it. I feel like this is a common feeling. I feel like almost every regular person, before they start something, they're just like, do I have what it takes to start this thing? And it's very, very common with our generation, most especially, because I just feel like the other generations, they just started whatever they felt like needed to be started. I don't know for sure, but I just feel like with our generation, since there's so much more scrutiny, there's so many eyes on what you're doing, like the social media, everybody feels like they need to like present this front, and if you fail at something you're trying to do, like there's going to be so many fingers pointing at you and laughing. So that's why I feel like with our generation, it's the weight is way heavier. Like the person feels like they have what to offer, they feel like they're gatekeeping from the world. So you already know that you have something to offer, you already know that you are great, like you already know that you what you have is important and you have to offer it, but you feel like you're not good enough, and at the same time you feel like you're holding back. So there's two things: you feel like you're not good enough, and you feel like what you have to offer, your greatness or your value, you feel like you're holding it back. And what I would have to say to that is like, who fucking cares? Like, who freaking cares? Like, so what? Like, so what? Like, literally, if you want to start a business, so what that business fails? Like, what next? Let's think about it. You start the business, it fails. What's next? You move on. Like, there's not 100 people, 200 people, 500 people laughing and mocking you because you started a business and you failed. Like, I promise you, I feel like this is like, and it happens to everyone, it happens to me too. Like, everyone feels like the world revolves around their actions. Like, oh my god, if I do this thing, like, people are going to be like, oh my god, look, he's doing that. Like, and at the end of the day, people will look, oh, people will say, people will be like, but like everyone has their own lives, everyone has what they're chasing, everyone has their own problems. So it's like, okay, her business failed. Oh, it was like, oh, did she not used to sell bracelets? Did she not used to sell this? And then the conversation moves on. The conversation fucking moves on. Like the conversation freaking just moves ahead to the next conversation. So what I would say to you is like, life is very, very short. Like, life is so short and so fragile. And aside life being that sounds very dark, but it's true. But aside that, you don't want to be in your 40s thinking about what would have happened if I had started that thing. You want to be in your 40s thinking about like, oh, well, I did it and it didn't work out, so we are here now. Do you understand? I feel like that's so much better than what would have happened if I did. Like the like if the word if literally haunts me. I'm just like, I don't want to be that person that's like, if I had done this, if I had done this. So do it. Do it. Like, we are accessing if it fails. Now imagine if it works out. Okay, if the fact that nobody cares about if it fails, if the fact that nobody cares about if it fails is your motivation, let the fact that it might work out be your motivation. Like, you feel like you're gatekeeping something that you have from the world. Why not just give the world and see how the world receives it? What if they receive it? What if it comes out amazing? What if it's successful? Like, imagine that. Just imagine what if it's successful. And also, even if it's not successful, there's a fulfillment you get doing what you want or doing what you like. Genuinely, I feel that way. There's a fulfillment you get when there's something you've always wanted to do and you finally do it. And it's not like the most successful thing ever. It's not the most, but you just feel so fulfilled because you're doing what you like and you're doing what you've always wanted to do. So that's just what I think. And yeah, like, do what you've always been passionate about. Passion is very important. Passion falls a lot. Passion will drive you when what you're doing is feeling like the passion you have for that thing is literally going to be what is going to keep you going. So I feel like you should go ahead and do it. Number one, because life is short. Number two, because you don't want to regret. You don't want to be in your 40s, 50s thinking about what would have happened if I had just done this thing. Number three, because nobody cares if you fail. Like, trust me, nobody cares if you fail. I promise you, nobody cares if you fail. Like I said earlier, of course, there's going to be people being like, "Oh, she wants to do everything, or he wants to do everything, or this, that." But like, at the end of the day, next, they've moved on to another thing to talk about. Like, you do it, you don't do it, people are going to talk anyway. People are going to talk. I promise you. So yeah, stop gatekeeping your wonderful talents from the world and just do it anyway. Like, life is short. TikTok. Get to it. Get to it. Our second patient of the day says, how not to feel stupid putting yourself out there. This kind of like literally what I just finished saying is what is going to apply to you. How not to feel stupid putting yourself out there is like, literally, I feel like everyone feels stupid. Like, I feel stupid, you feel stupid, the person beside you feels stupid. But like, you don't know that because they're not telling you to feel stupid. So just go on and behave like feeling stupid doesn't exist. Like, literally, I say this all the time. Embarrassment is literally not real. I literally go into this mindset whereby I just made it hard for someone to embarrass me. Like, if you try to embarrass me, like, I still feel embarrassed a lot, but like, sometimes I just lock out of the embarrassment state. I'm just like, this, like, think about what, like, that's how, whenever I'm with my friends, that's how I react. Like, if someone like would yell at me in public when I'm alone, that would be embarrassing a little bit. Like, I'll feel the embarrassment more. But if I'm with my friends and yell at me in public, I would laugh at you because at that point, like the embarrassment is so much more lighter. Like, at that point, it's almost like the embarrassment doesn't matter because like you're with your friends. I don't know, it's just something about it. So think about it that way. Like, just make the embarrassment not real. Like, just clock out of that mentality, that shame, like, oh my god, I'm like, just clock out of that mentality and act like embarrassment is not real. Because if you feel like embarrassment is not real, you can't feel stupid putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there, whether it's in relationships, jobs, social media, school, like networking. Just put yourself out there without feeling stupid, because embarrassment is literally just a mindset. Embarrassment is just a mindset. You want to feel embarrassed, you're going to feel embarrassed. You don't want to feel embarrassed, you're not going to feel embarrassed. Like, think about people wearing, there's something that you would never wear, like, you're like, oh my god, you can never catch me in that. There's people wearing that thing. That same thing that you're like, oh my god, I would never wear that. There's people wearing it. You see? Like, you're like, if I wear this, oh my god, I'm going to feel so embarrassed. But there's someone wearing that, I'm feeling like the baddest bitch in the world right now. So like, it's literally just perception. Like, it's not real, so it's not real. It's real, so it's real. Okay, our third patient says, I feel like I'm drowning in my own mind. Is that the same for everyone? Yes, I think that is the same for everyone. Everyone once upon a time feels like they are drowning and they feel like they are alone and they feel like the world is just sinking with them. And depending on how these drowning thoughts come in, like you say, you feel like you're drowning in your own mind. I think it's just because so many thoughts exist to weigh you down. So you can feel like, oh my God, like, how do I set myself free from this crippling thoughts. And the question is that the same for everyone? I genuinely feel like it's the same for everyone. I genuinely feel like the age we live in now, it's so hard to find someone who, at least once upon a time, doesn't have those crippling thoughts. But what I would say to that is like, it's very normal. It's very, very normal. Do not feel like you have any problem or don't feel like anything is wrong with you, because it's very normal, and it's going to shock you how much people would relate to situations like that. I just feel like it's very, very, a very, very normal thing that happens to a lot of people. So yes, to answer your question, yes, you are not alone in that. Yes, that is a very common thing. It happens to me. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm just like, let me shake. Can I hibernate for like 3 months and come back? Genuinely, someone said that, and the person was like, I wish I could just sleep for like 3 months and then just wake up. Like, how lovely would that be, you guys? So yes, answer your question. That is quite a common feeling, especially among like. In fact, I don't even want to make it about age. Like, I feel like everyone feels that way. They just don't know that they're feeling that way. So yes, but what I would like recommend for like situations like that is to find something that makes you feel lighter. This could be going on a walk, this could be going out with your friends, this could be finding a new hobby, this could be reading, this could be just working on your like business or your craft or anything. Just find something whereby if you feel like everything is so against you right now, you're going to do that thing and your head. It could be listening to music, it could be watching a movie, it could just give yourself breaks a lot. And yeah, just give yourself breaks. It could be going to the beach, it could be going anywhere. It could literally be just be taking a walk and then just listening to music and then you just like shake. It could be exercising, anything. You could be eating, honestly. Just anything that makes you feel like happy and gives you a break from like reality for like a second. Just I feel like you should do that. Okay, so our next patient says, what to do if you're attracted to older men? Well, I think what to do is to find the nearest church and okay, how older? How much older are we talking about? Because 40 plus, mm, 30 plus, 20 plus, mm, 10 plus, 5 plus, 2 plus. Genuinely, that's all I have for you. Please seek help if the age gap is 20 plus. If the age gap is 20 plus, kindly seek help. And if it's like under 20, then like I guess that's okay. Like whatever works for you. Well, I'm joking anyway. I feel like, well, if you're like under 18 and like, no, I don't think that's okay if you're under 18, but like if you're above 18, you can honestly do whatever you want. But I don't think I resonate with that, Sha. I don't really think I resonate with that. I just feel like people in the older age grade should not really have like sexual relations with people young, like way younger. Like if for the person that is older, say, what are you like? Look at yourself. Like someone is like 20 years younger than you, and you're like, come on, do better. Now, the next question says how to get closure. How to get closure. Closure could be such a tricky thing. What I would say is that you don't need closure from the person. Like you truly do not need like one last conversation. You don't need to see the person for one last time. You don't need to send that paragraph. You don't need to send that text. You don't need to reach out to make the person explain why they treated you in such a shitty way. Think about it. You don't need to reach out to the person to explain to you why they treated you so shittily. You know they treated you in a very shitty way. They know they treated you in a very shitty way. You don't need closure. The closure is yourself. The closure is you actively choosing to walk away from that relationship or to walk away from that friendship and choose yourself. Validate yourself. You don't need the person to validate. You truly do not need that. Validate yourself, validate your actions. You saw how you were treated, you felt how you were treated, and you decided to not be in that situation anymore. That is all the closure you need. You trust me, you do not need it. Just wake up and realize that you walked away from this thing and that's it, for your own good. You did it for yourself, you did it for your own good, and that's really all the validation in it. And I feel like, yes, I feel like that's it. Like, you don't need closure, you don't need to reach out one more time, you don't need to call, you don't need to see, just choosing yourself is the closure you need. The fact that you left, I just feel like that's all the closure you need. So, my dear patient, I hope that doesn't sound somehow, but okay, you guys, this is the end of the first episode of Cheap Therapy. I just decided to keep this short and introductory. But before we go, your therapist needs some therapy. So, comment some of your self care tips. I really want to know what you guys are doing to just take care of yourself, to like take care of your mind, your soul. Comment what are some things that you do when you just want to take care of yourself. Yes, just I would like to know what you do. What are some activities or some things you do when you want to take care of yourself? And if you want to send in some questions for therapy, I will have a highlight up on my Instagram, which I will include in the screen, where you can go there, click the link, and put in your anonymous questions, rants, suggestions. Whatever you write there is anonymous, and I can never know who you are. And yes, and I will be discussing and answering your questions and providing you some cheap therapy in the next episode of Cheap Therapy. Once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for tuning in. And I am very, very appreciative of your presence on this channel. Like, share, and subscribe, as it do helps the channel a lot. It helps YouTube think that I am making some meaningful content. So they'll put my content out and help you reach more patients. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next session. Bye for now.